right, shalom, shalom. I'm the brother Kasha Kwala. I'm with
Karasazar.
Khan. We want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. The name of this lesson is going to be move with consideration or consider your movements. All right, things are tightening up. All right, the spirit is heavy right now. The Lord ain't playing no games. So consider your ways and consider your movements at all times, okay? Because ain't none of us safe. So without further ado, I'm gonna jump into First Peter 1:17. All right, it says, "And if you call on the if you call on the Father, who without respect of persons judgeth according to every man's work, pass the time of your sojourning here in fear." Correct. So Peter is saying right here, look, the Lord, he it don't matter who you are, okay? It don't matter what you've been going through, what he put you through, how long you've been doing this, whatever. It doesn't matter, okay? Ain't nobody safe. And don't nobody know if they solidified or got a golden ticket on the chariot. So that's why it says, pass the time of your sojourning here in fear, okay? So we understand what Romans, I think in the 13th chapter, I want to say, says where our time is our salvation is nearer than what we believe. You see, therefore we know that time is short. So what are you gonna do with that time? Fuck around? You no. Do petty little bull crap? No. All right, you're gonna get things done in a timely manner because you know the individual who's about to come back and acquire his elect is right around the corner.
That's
If you
right.
knew that, you would be in order as best as possible. Okay,
That's
you
right.
would you would consider your movements and consider your ways. You know, did you have anything to
Now you can continue up.
con? So I'm gonna go ahead and get this get a few words in here. All right, it says the word sojourning kind of popped out to me. All right, and that word in the Greek is patarakia, and it means a dwelling near or with one, dwelling in a strange land. It says metaphor, the life of man here on earth is likened to a sojourning. That's right. Meaning, like it says in, I want to say, the book of James, your life is as a vapor. It vanisheth away. Okay? You don't know when it's going to happen, and it's quick. Okay? So while you're here, why don't you consider the things you do? Okay? And with the time that you have, we all don't know how much time, but with the time that we have to this at this very moment, you got to consider what you do.
Yeah.
Even considering what you do helps the body because
Yeah.
whatever you do on your own time affects the body, whether it be good or bad. If you lose your job, it affects the body. If you get a job, it affects the body. If you lose a car, it affects the body. If you gain a
Yeah.
car, it affects the body. If you stop studying, it affects the body. If you
That's right.
continue to study, it affects the body. So consider what you do in your ways in this strange land because this is not our home, you know?
Hey, you really gotta hold up your end of the bargain. Because the Book of Corinthians tell us that we all make up different parts of Yahweh Shah. So you don't want say that you may be the left pinky. You don't want the left pinky weaker than the right pinky because that's an unbalance.
Mm-hmm.
So you really got to hold up your end of the bargain, and ultimately, like we're going into is considering how you move according to the scriptures.
Correct. It's good how you move according to the scriptures, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And if you're moving in the sense of trying to keep the the law, statutes, commandments, you're moving in the correct manner. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're considering your ways. You're considering the Lord. You could get that word consider, matter of fact. It's my favorite word.
This is the definition for the word consider. It says, think carefully about something,
Mm.
typically before making a decision.
It says think carefully about something,
Mm-hmm.
typically before making a decision. Okay?
Cause,
Go ahead.
oh no, Salaki for cutting you off. But like how you said, important on how you move because it affects the whole body according to the decisions you make.
There you go.
You know, so you just can't be out making rash decisions. You know, because it ultimately it's gonna affect the body like how you was going into.
That's right. That's right. Your decisions, like the brother said, is going to affect the body. You make a bad decision, that could throw everybody off whack.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Because the body works as a machine. All right? If you're the alternator and decide to do some stupid crap, well, now the body can't operate like it's supposed to be and has to replace you. You see? Okay? So it says what? Think before you make a decision. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. It also says, think about and be drawn toward.
Mm-hmm. It says, think about and be drawn towards. So what is that? A consideration of the Lord. If you're constantly meditating on the ordinances and the oracles of the Lord, you're drawing near and dear and closer to the Lord. You go ahead.
Hey, this one is going to hit the point right here, too. It says, take something into account when making an assessment or judgment.
Take something into account when making an assessment or a judgment, man. Okay, consideration is a discernment, but you got to take account of it. If you're taking account of something, that means you give a damn.
Yep.
You see? If you're not, you're very negligent. Okay? You're very inconsiderate.
Yep.
All right? Meaning you're neglecting something that needs to be considered. Okay? Is there more on that definition?
That was pretty much it. They got some synonyms for it. If you wanted me to read a couple.
Was that the Google definition?
You want the
etymology?
You want the etymology?
Yup.
All right.
Because that has the good stuff in it.
All right, Con. Speak a little bit while I pull it up.
Con, yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna reread 1 Peter 1:17. It says, "And if ye call on the Father, who without respect of persons judgeth according to every man's work," all right. According to 1 Corinthians the 3rd chapter, every man's work is going to be tried by the fire. Okay? So their decisions are going to be tried by the fire, which the fire is the tribulation that we are to go through. All right? It says, pass the time of your sojourning here in fear. That's where you got in the same book, the 3rd chapter, I want to say. I might be 2 Peter 3. But it talks about how we should be in conducting ourselves in all holy conversation. Which holy conversation means what? A hallowed or a separate or a very sanctified conducting of oneself. If you're conducting yourself like that, you're considering your ways. Okay? Because there's a blueprint on how to conduct in holy conversation. And the blueprint is the Bible. Okay? And the blueprint is the Bible.
Hey.
You know, you got it, bro.
This is the Edom Online, or word considered. It says late 14th century. It says to fix the mind upon for careful examination.
Fix the mind upon for careful.
Hey, if I could say, the scriptures tell us to examine ourselves daily whether we be in the truth, in the faith.
Yep.
You know, so that's being considerate, man.
Yep.
You know, it's really a good mannerism or characteristic to have is to being considerate of others, man.
That's right.
You know, because if you're not, that's really being selfish, man.
Exactly.
Hey, what's that? Proverbs 3 and 5 is tell us not to lean on our own understanding,
there
man.
You
know, so like we're going into, always think before making that action, because ultimately that can fall and hurt and hinder the whole body, man.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly, bro. There's a scripture I want to get. I love this scripture too. I mean, we love all the scriptures, but you know what I mean. Because it tells you, the scriptures tell you to think before you even speak. So let me get Ecclesiasticus 19. I think it's like 18. No, I think it's 18 and 19. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 18 and 19. It says, "Learn before thou speak." If you're learning something, you're understanding something, you're pondering on something, you're thinking about something, or you're considering something. Okay? It says, learn before thou speak. So meaning it says, It's saying think before your ass speak, before you open your mouth. And it says use physic, or ever thou be sick. Correct.
Mm.
If you're sick, you're gonna think about going into a physician.
Yeah.
Our physician is Yahweh Shai.
Kind.
We're definitely gonna think about going to him, especially
God.
if we're lacking in something. That means you're sick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what does it else have on that?
It says meditate upon.
Mm-hmm.
Also view attentively.
That's my favorite part of it. View attentively. When you're viewing something attentively, it means you're viewing something with attention. Because the word attentive comes from the word attention. Okay?
Yeah.
Or maybe other way around, but you know what I'm saying. All right? You're paying attention to something. Okay? If you're paying attention, that shows you have a level of carefulness about something. Okay? We pay attention to the prophecies because we care about when the hell we about to get out of here.
Yeah,
We pay attention to the characteristics that the Bible teaches us to be like, and we pay attention to what the men were emulating while we learn about them. You see, because we consider their ways, which makes us consider ours. We try what Peter said, pretty much be a follower of me like I am a Yahweh Shai, meaning consider my movements, because my movements came from Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
You see.
Yeah,
we could get your scripture, man.
This one just came to mind, as you were speaking. This is Ephesians 5:15. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Because you want to be, when we're out and about. Number one, you have to understand that we're surrounded by wickedness. So Satan is going to come and try to attack you, from all different angles. So you have to be attentive. Your spiritual antennas have to be up, man.
That's right.
You just can't be walking, like we're supposed to, like we fit in. The scriptures tell us that we're outcasts.
Yep.
So you gotta understand that we're gonna get attacked while we're out here. But you have to have your spiritual antennas up, because now is the time, where Satan, is trying to remove men from the truth, man.
Yep.
Orders is going out. Men, the elders and the apostles, it's pushing us harder and harder as the time go by. Hey, that's for a reason, man. So you have to understand that now is the time, to walk circumspectly, man.
I got a quick precept for you.
Go ahead.
And I do want you to read verse 16 in Ephesians 5 as well, because that goes with 1 Peter 1:17.
Mm-hmm.
But you said pretty much, I'll just go ahead and read it for you. You got it. This is Luke 22:31. It says, and the Lord said, Simon, Simon, that he's speaking to Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. You got it, bro.
Hey, it says that he may sift you, man. Mm-hmm. Hey, because that's Satan's job, man. Satan's job is to go out amongst the world, and try to sift the men who's in the truth, man. Or try to block those from coming into the truth, man. But you have to understand, what Satan's position is, man. Because it's actually an order from the Heavenly Father, man.
Correct.
So you have to understand that, hey, that's Satan. You have to understand what Satan is about, or else you'll get caught up out here, man.
That's right.
You continue out.
That's it. I got.
Now, I'll read this verse 16. Well, I'll read 15 again. It says, see Ephesians 5:15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. You got it, bro.
It says redeeming the times because the days are evil. That's why 1 Peter 1:17 told you what? Your sojourning should be in fear. Because, look, the time is short. All right? We don't know exactly when everything's going to pop off. The time is short, so consider how you move. Okay? Consider how you move, man. You got it, bro.
That was it on that.
We can get that Psalm 64. You can go
Okay,
ahead and break that down too, bro.
kind of. It's Psalm 64. Psalm 64 and 9. It says, "And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord and shall trust in him, and all the upright in his heart shall glory." So hey, we gotta consider, the works of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. We have to understand or look back, onto where we were, however long ago it was that you came into the truth, to now, and see the works that the Heavenly Father has done on you, man. Yeah, and not because we just read, not as fools. You can't be a fool out here, man. Being a fool is really a characteristic of being a 2/3, man.
Exactly.
If you look at it, because they don't have their spiritual antennas up, they're just walking in the darkness, man. You wanted to say something?
You mentioned look back upon, and the word look, that's a definition of the word respect.
Yeah, kind of.
You respect the Lord, meaning you look back and you remember the things that He's done for us. You remember the things that He has written for us, in order the things that He has written for us to show us the way, give us the correct guidance to make it on a chariot and get out of here. You got to consider those things, man.
Right.
You got it though, bro.
That was it on that.
Con. You can go to your next one. Let's get the 1 Peter 5, man.
Yep. Okay.
No, you good, bro.
This 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." You want to say it?
Well, yeah. It says, "Be sober and vigilant." The word sober means of a sound mind. Okay? I'm gonna get this word vigilant real quick in the Greek.
Okay.
All right? And that's a Gregorio in the Greek, and it means to watch. Right? Listen to this. It says, "Give strict attention to."
Oh, man.
Being vigilant is considering.
Yeah.
It says, "Be cautious and active." So if you're being vigilant, you're being active. You're doing more than 3 videos a week.
Yeah,
you linking up with your bros. You active. You know how Jake like to say out in the West Coast, man, I'm about to get active.
Yeah, I'm about to get active.
That's how you should be in the spirit, man.
Yeah, kind.
That means you're being vigilant. If you're continually active in the spirit, okay, the spirit will guide you and make you consider what you're doing.
That's right, bro.
It says to take heed lest through remission and indolence, I think that's right, indolence, some destructive calamities suddenly overtake one. Because you don't want to be vigilant, a destructive calamity will overtake your ass, man.
Man.
You see?
Hey, if I can add too, because it said take heed, right?
Yeah.
And we were just speaking on, the brotherhood. Hey, that's why we have the brotherhood, to give us, instructions, to do this, to not do that. If you see a brother going off, you correct him. Exactly. Hey, but the thing is, you can talk to him all you want, but if you don't take heed to it, hey, that's when Satan gonna come devour you, man.
Exactly. Let's see something real quick.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm going off. But it's okay. I want to get something real quick for you.
All right, go ahead.
Hebrews 13, of course. I think in 16. It says, 17. It says, "Obey them that have rule over you and submit yourselves. For they watch, so they're vigilant. For your souls, they consider." Because you were talking about the brotherhood. And there's men put above us, to the next of us, below. We got brothers all around us, okay? And they're there, whatever their position is. The spirit can jump on any brother to give you an admonition in spirit, or an admonishment. Any brother. Okay? If they admonish you, which is an advice, take heed. Don't let, I know Bishop Atazawam said today, don't let these admonishments fall on deaf ears.
Yeah, kind.
Okay? So it says, for they watch for your souls because they consider your life probably more than theirs.
Yeah.
Like it tells you in Philippians, the 2nd chapter, like my favorite chapter.
God.
It says, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief. Well, what makes it with grief? If you don't take heed to that admonishment because you didn't consider it, because you didn't care about it, you weren't vigilant about it. You can be vigilant about an admonishment because that means you're taking action of the advice that you were given. All right? It says, for this is unprofitable for you. So not being considerate is unprofitable for your ass, man.
That's right.
You see? All right? You can go back to 1 Peter 5 and 8 real quick because I know there's some more jewels up in there.
Yeah, kind.
You got it, bro.
All right, I'm going to reread it. 1 Peter 5 and 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Hey, if I could just say too, because a characteristic of a lion is when he's hunting, he's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't see him. You know, he sneaks up on his prey till he get to the distance where he can pounce on him. Exactly. That's Satan, man.
Yep.
You know, hey, but those animals out there, they have a keen sense of hearing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what we got to have, bro.
That's right. You said a keen sense of hearing.
Yeah.
The word hearing goes into understanding.
Oh man.
You got to have a keen sense of understanding.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, you got to understand when that's Satan fucking with you. You got to understand it. You got to peep it. You got to discern it. Okay? You got to see it like some bull. You already know, man. Some bull crap happened to me today. But I'm like, bro, it's just Satan.
Yeah.
You peep that stuff immediately.
Yeah,
it's just Satan. You know, trying to just seek him. Just little minion, man. It's like, but he's doing his job. You know.
Yeah, God.
It's just the Lord seeing how you gonna react to it and what you gonna do. All right. If you understand that the Satan is roaring like a lion, it says walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right. You're gonna consider the ways of the Lord, so you know how to escape and take your correct preventative measures.
That's right.
To get away from that lion that's about to pounce. Right. You see? When you go into it, not every lion is 100% with his hunt.
Yeah.
Same thing with Satan. He
that's
ain't gonna be 100% with his hunt, baby.
Kinda.
If you that gazelle that and leaps away. You see what I'm saying? Because you're vigilant. You consider. You consider your ways.
Oh no, I said that they go for the weak link.
Yeah.
The outsider, the one who not paying attention with the herd, man.
There you go.
You know.
Hence why Eve got deceived in the garden.
That's
she
right.
was the weaker vessel.
Yep.
You see. So we're gonna get one more precept and we're gonna close it out.
Okay.
This is one that Elder Ratazah loves to bring out. Shalom to that brother. This is Proverbs 4:26. It says, "Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established." Ponder. The word ponder means to think.
Yep.
When you're thinking, you're considering. It says the path of thy feet. If you're walking aimlessly, meaning you have no aim, it's like shooting a gun. Just the target's over there, but you just.
Yeah.
Nah, it's the same thing. How you move. If you're moving aimlessly and not pondering on how you move, then you're gonna fall into a ditch that you can't get out of.
That's right.
Yahushua said, "Let the blind lead. If the blind lead the blind, they'll both fall into a ditch." All right. So if you're not pondering on how you move, you're a part of that blind. All right.
That's right.
And it says, "And let all thy ways be established." Correct. If you think about what you're about to do, your ways will be established by the Lord, man. You got any closing remarks, brother?
Hey man, just do everything decently and in order as the scriptures tell us, man. And you'll be all right, man.
That's it.
You know, just follow the orders, of the apostles and elders. Hey man, we'll make it out of here. You know.
There you go. You can break it down. I mean, yeah, you can close it out, bro.
With that, we hope this lesson was edifying. We'll go ahead and close out by giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule and teach well. And to the next time, Shalom.
Shalom.